Today I would like to talk about esoteric psychology. Now there's an old story about a village of blind men who knew they were going to be invaded by an army riding elephants, and they had never experienced what an elephant is. And so they went and sent scouts out who were blind to try to figure out what the elephant was. Now this is analogous to contemporary psychology. Freud, for instance, he went and he felt the genitals and the sexual organs of the elephant and came back and made his report based on this study. Jung, he went and stood in the shadow of the elephant and then out of the shadow in the sun and then in the shadow, and he came back and made his report. B.F. Skinner, he measured the size and impression of the footprints that the elephants left behind. And this is like conventional psychology, where psychologists invent and theorize based on their own understandings. Now, conventional psychology is really concerned with figuring out how to take an abnormal human being, someone who's broken, they may be suffering from depression or anxiety or a whole host of problems, and trying to make them normal. Trying to get them so that they can adapt to the world and function properly in the world and get up and have a 9-to-5 job and do regular things. Whereas esoteric psychology works from a different premise. It starts with the understanding of normal human beings. And so rather than taking abnormal human beings and trying to turn them into normal human beings, their concept is to take normal human beings and to try to make them into extraordinary human beings. Now, part of this is the understanding of self-evolution and inner development. Nature has evolved us as far as she can, particularly within the limits of our own lifetime. We will not evolve into a separate species through external pressure, through food or population or whatever. The next step in our own evolution is a self-evolution. It's a consciously growing our own being. And this consciously growing our own being was really the study of ancient alchemy. So the ancient alchemists who were talking about transforming lead into gold, they were really talking about taking a normal human being at their lead-like level, living a lead-like existence, and refining them and turning them into golden beings. So this is the real difference between esoteric psychology and conventional psychology. Now, the thing about esoteric psychology is it is thousands of years old. There's nothing new under the sun. It was the central premise and core of every ancient mystery school and lay behind the civilizations that arose in the Indus Valley, that arose in Egypt, that arose in Mesopotamia, this looking inwards and attempting to grow ourselves. Now, a number of very important phrases have survived to this day and are in common use. One is, as above, so below. And the other one is, know thyself. Now the interesting thing is, know thyself is only part of the phrase. And most people attribute this phrase to the Greeks when it really can be traced back to the ancient Egyptians. And the proper phrase is, know thyself, and thou shalt know the gods and the universe. And what people don't understand as well is that this is really a formula. Know thyself and thou shalt know the gods in the universe can be flipped around. Know the gods in the universe and thou shalt know thyself. Because we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. So any esoteric psychology, any true psychology must also involve an understanding of the cosmic laws, of the whole nature of the cosmos, where we fit into it. So in ancient times, esoteric psychology and psychology also involved the study of cosmology. And cosmology and psychology were intimately related. Now, the other thing is that in order to grow our being, we first have to figure out where we're broken, where we're leaking energy, where we are fractured. We have to first figure out all of those things within us that need to be repaired, that need to be cleansed, cleaned up, fixed. But unfortunately, we were born without an owner's manual in a society that doesn't possess an owner's manual. And without this owner's manual, without the schematics, the diagrams, the understandings of who we are, we can't really grow and change. Fortunately, ancient mystical schools, ancient mystical traditions have left behind such diagrams, such owner's manuals that we can then use to look within ourselves to figure out where we are broken, how we are broken, and to begin to make those changes within ourselves. And so then the key becomes tapping into this ancient mystical tradition. And there are many variants, many different branches. It's like there was this one branch that then split off into all sorts of branches. And you can find remnants of it in Buddhism, in Hinduism, in esoteric Christianity, in Sufism, in Kabbalism. It is there for those who wish to seek it. And when we find a teaching, it is not merely designed to change our thoughts, to change our perceptions, to change our understanding of ourselves in the world, although it will certainly do this. We are actually three-brained beings, and we have a head brain, a body brain, and a feeling brain. And if any one of our brains develops faster than the others, we will become abnormal beings. So what is really required is the harmonious development of the head brain, the words and pictures, our ideas, the body brain, our ability to sense, our ability to be mindful and present in our body, and our feeling brain, our ability to consciously control our feelings. So it's a massive study, it's a massive undertaking. It takes years and years of self-study in order to really begin to truly apply an ancient mystical teaching. And an ancient mystical teaching, this path is not for everyone. We have to have something within us that makes us follow it, something that doesn't allow us to live a normal life. There are many, many normal people who do not have any interest in this, who will never have an interest in this, and they will look at us, at those of us who do have this interest, as if we are deviant, as if we are strange. But for those of us on the path, for those of us who have encountered a mystical path and a mystical teaching, it's like there's a lodestone in our heart that gets activated, and this lodestone orients us to conscious influences, and it really propels us to try and find a way to evolve and grow our being. And so this is the nature and purpose of esoteric psychology, the nature and purpose of mystical teachings. It's to help refine ourselves. And the only person who can ultimately refine ourselves are ourselves. I'm the only one who can work on me inside. I'm the only one who can grow my own being. And the other thing about esoteric psychology is that no two people are broken in the same way. Everyone is different. And so the owner's manual is really a general manual, and we actually have to look inside and find where our own breaks are. And our breaks and our problems will be different than other people's breaks and other people's problems. And this again leads back into one of the problems of conventional psychology, because a lot of psychologists come at it from the position of being broken, and they find a way to heal themselves, and then they proclaim that as the next best thing and the way to heal the whole world, without understanding how we are all individual and we are broken in our separate ways. healing mind, body, and feelings. The Toronto hypnotherapist.